With Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance, we are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Jackson, option right. First carry now for Justice Hill. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give him the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
On 2nd down, Hill. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Mike, 55. Right there in the middle, 55.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. This one complete to Christian Kirk. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
2nd and 3 at the 47-yard line.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now it's Jackson. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown. His first touchdown of the new season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Tucker with the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
On the return, the Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Let's go now. 18 Gator. Coming after you. I'm coming after you. 22 Jet Bombers. 22 Jet Bombers. Switch.
They'll run with the NC State man. It's Jalen Samuels. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Ready.
So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on 2nd and less than a yard.
Ready.
2nd down and inches. Gets this to his running back. That's Jalen Samuels. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Hey, Haywood!
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
Quick dad! Get it!
Operating from the gun, Benedict. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker rule that they can fall back on anymore.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Switch. Check out.
On 2nd down, Samuels takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
I got it. Everyone, you got 4 down. Alert 3.
80 weapons. Go.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Open man, Smith-Schuster, it's complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 36.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Check. Hot.
Off the bootleg. Benedict. Complete to Washington. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And the Steelers first down.
Let's go. 30 base.
Watch QB dog.
On 1st and 10, Benedict. Washington's got it. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. James Washington, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Extra point put through by Boswell, and we are tied at 7.
Chris Boswell set to kick off.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
At their own 24-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up the touchdown.
Now a nice throw here, right side. He hauls it in. 16 yards on that one at a Raven first.
Let's go, baby.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And nothing but daylight ahead. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Ravens have taken the lead. seeing some pretty good offense here in this first quarter.
It's been a wild start to this quarter, as you noted. And now with that lead that we're seeing, can they retaliate? I get the sense this one's going to go back and forth all game long.
And that probably won't be the last long touchdown that we see in this one. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these team special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Throwing on first down, Benedict. And yes, complete to the tight end, McDonald. And a short 3-yard pickup gets him up to the 15. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. Here's a second and 7. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. It's Chris Harris with a pick. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape, he's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
Watch the slant. Watch the slant.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Second and 12 at the 26-yard line.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12.
Hey, 4 down.
They'll run it here. This is Marlon Mack. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On third down, Jackson. That's going to be caught by Kirk. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score.
Justin Tucker on for the field goal. A 40-yard attempt.
And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And they will move up by 10 now, 17-7. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Hey, Charlie.
2nd and 6. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. To throw on 3rd down. Benedict. He finds his man Johnson. And his bid for the first down coming up short as he's tackled at the 25. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. And he finds McDonald. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. A curious decision to go for it, but it pays off with a first down.
First down, Steelers.
This quarterback now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10.
Come on, boys, come on. Watch 8-9, watch 8-9. It's yours.
From the gun, Benedict. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
It is tough to complete pass against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Throwing again, Benedict. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Watch 36. 36 to Mike. Squeeze. Flare. Rush in. Watch out.
Let's go.
On 3rd down, Benedict. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Well, prior to that, he had hit his first 6 passes to start the game, so on a nice little run to begin.
It feels like this offense has carried its dress rehearsal into the game. You know, because you do practice it, you do go through it, and in this case, it is clicking exactly like they drew it up.
On 2nd and 10, Jackson. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion or would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And that ball's going to angle out at the 3-yard line. A beauty.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they will start this drive with just terrible field position backed up inside their own 5.
But we have seen teams be bold here and take shots, right? Sometimes you go max protection, make it a one-receiver route, and take your shot downfield and see what happens. And occasionally, we've seen success occur.
In on the tackle, the former All-Pro Chris Harris.
And that's frustrating for a defense because they've got them pinned down deep. And on the first play, they gave up a run that keeps an offense on schedule.
Yeah, because 3 to 4 yards, that's all you're looking for right there, right?
That's absolutely perfect, really, as a play call. You get 3 to 4 yards on first down. That's what they talk about, does all the time, about being ahead of the chains or on target, ahead of schedule. They were after that run.
The Steelers on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
Check 25. Check 25.
Check 24. Check 24.
Hey, check 24. Check 24. On the ball.
On third down, it's counter. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
Here we go.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Here's Drew Kaiser now as he'll kick it away for the second time. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. From the 44, Jackson. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
He's telling right here. He's telling the right. Telling the right. 3 down.
5. 5.
On first down, Benedict. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Lucky. You go tight. You got tight. You got tight right there.
Now.
On second down, Connor looking for space. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Looking to throw. Benedict. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny? When we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts. Now, that's the kind of return that warms the heart of a special teams coach. He'll be pushing us next time, Brandon, to make sure his guys are introduced in the starting lineups. These guys have such an influence on every game. The unsung heroes, remember, they have their own meetings, their own practice time, heck, their own spot on the bench in order to be ready to play each and every week.
And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's a gain of 34. He had his eyes on the end zone once he hit the secondary, but they're finally able to slow him down.
Yeah, and I've got to look at this one from the defensive point of view. You just mentioned finally able to slow him down. They've got to figure out a way to make that at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage, because once he gets through, he's shredding them.
They'll try to pound it in with Hill, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Justice Hill, his second touchdown on the season as the Ravens push further out in front. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And a first half that really has not been kind to them. A late opportunity here to maybe make some inroads on this deficit before half.
And this drive
looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Josh Jones. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick six. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go.
The Steelers take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
Whip, 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 whip. Watch the whip.
Blue draw Corker. Get it.
To throw again, Benedict. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1.
Hey, you.
On 1st and 10, Benedict. And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Now the Steelers use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
Watch 36. 36 to Mike.
Let's go, tight end. Let's go right here now. Mike, 36. Mike. Hey, lock it. No gain on this defense. No. Go. 13. Go.
Back to throw. Benedict. And he's going to go down again. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Operating from the gun, Benedict. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he put enough leg into it, but it's well off to the right and no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
Jackson fakes the give and keeps it. And it's incomplete, broken up. But there is a flag down. Let's see what that's about. Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there. From the gun, Jackson flushed it. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And he takes it back to the house. A fumble recovery for a Steelers score. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line.
At their own 32-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
It's a gain of 25 yards on the play. That's good for a Baltimore first down. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Jackson now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10.
Mike, 55. Check, 55, Mike. Let's go.
Jackson from the shotgun. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 12 yards the pickup there. Good for a Raven first. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. From the gun, it's Jackson. Open man is Kirk, complete.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, the Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Ready, ready.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Off play action. Benedict. On the left side, it's McDonald. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, Benedict. Throw left side complete. It's McDonald. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That's good for 28 yards. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 46. Eluding the pressure right. Incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. 2nd and 10. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Johnson the intended target, but now it'll be 3rd down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half. To throw on 3rd down. Benedict. That one into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And he can only manage to get this to the 45-yard line. Well short of the first.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. On now, Kaiser, the punter, sending it away. And a great job on special teams to down it as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
The Baltimore offense at the line set to get going. And they begin this drive in very precarious field position inside their own 5.
And remember, this is a defense that's already scored once in this game, so you've got to really take care and make sure that you're blocking these guys to try and wedge the ball out from the shadow of your own end zone.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 3-yard line.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And an alley to run. And they're going to get this all the way out past the 20. That one a gain of 20 and a 1st down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
This time, Jackson will throw it. He's going deep for Brown. That's caught inside the 20. A big play that time for the Ravens. 51 yards.
There's simply no sense in wasting a great catch like that on a short gain. Get downfield like you just did there and use it up that way.
No dink and dunk. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. They'll go with Hill here on first down. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
2nd and 5 now. Jackson. They'll run the screen with Mack. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Now Jackson to the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete. Devin Bush, the linebacker, was the one there in pass coverage. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple of weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks